Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. We're diving in today to our Friday review, our closing show of the week before, of course, our weekend edition of the show, which is quite different. Those are our Cabral house calls where we go over all of our community's questions, about 12 questions each and every weekend. So hopefully you're tuning in for those, but I'm excited today because we've got a brand new show. Of course, every single day of the week, we bring you a brand new Cabral concept, but you know that I love technology, and I love technology, especially when it's mixed with health and fitness. So I've been wearing now my new Generation 3 Oura Ring that I'm excited to talk to you more about. But of course, before we get to that and before we get into our two new research studies of the week that you're going to want to tune in for, because this is pretty disturbing information about what fast food actually has in their food now. Forget about the hydrogenated oil, forget about the processed food, forget about the gluten and all of those other things. Like, those are important to watch out for. But it gets much worse, and I want to share that with you because this has been kept for us from quite some time. Okay. And then I'll also share with you a really uplifting exercise-based research study that literally takes a whole 12 minutes to complete. I know you can do that. I know I can do it. We're going to make it happen, especially going into this new year. But before we get into that, let's go over our updates for the week. So I always like to just share with you a little bit more on the personal side, what we have going on, of course. Well, just myself, my family, and also in our private practice. So I get a lot of requests to just share more, and I'm always happy to do that. And hopefully you're tuning into my Instagram stories where I create exclusive content there, just little check-ins throughout the day. When I was actually recording, so today we're recording the show because it's recorded about a week or so, maybe in advance, just posting about the state of the world we're in right now. And my job is never to offend anyone, but it is to open minds to the best of my ability, because again, I see the world in my own way, just like you see the world in your own way. So what I like to do is I like to listen to both sides, and I had some really great conversations with some people on, believe it or not, just airplane flights over the last couple of weeks, going back and forth to see my family for Thanksgiving, and then we'll be going back again for the Christmas-based holidays. But again, just trying to keep my mind open, and I share some of that on Instagram stories. So again, my account's just Stephen Cabral, and you can check that out at your leisure. All right. So now one thing I do want to share with you is that really important this time of the year, if you're like me and you are traveling for the holidays, that you want to make sure that you are boosting your immune system, because a lot of people think that because they wear a mask or all these different things that they're not going to necessarily be exposed to all sorts of other different viruses. Again, forget like the main virus that everyone's talking about, right? That the whole world's talking about. I get it. I understand it. I've talked about that. I'm not interested in getting my show censored, so I'm just not going to name that in this particular show. It matters, no doubt about it. Protect yourself. But here's the thing. There are still other viruses in the world. You can still get sick. So just keep going with your immune system-based protocols. Just make sure that as your body gets depleted during the winter times of natural levels of vitamin D, because you're not maintaining the tan, lower levels of vitamin C, really important, lower levels of zinc, that if you only do those, at least do those to get those vitamin levels back up. All right. So just wanted to share that with you because I'm doing it myself. I'm doing it for my daughters. Before they get on a flight for the 2 days before, we do a little extra zinc. We do a little extra vitamin D. We do a little extra vitamin C. That day we get on the flight, same thing. The day after, and sometimes the next day, same thing. And that's because whatever they may have picked up, well, we're going to give the immune system a little bit of a boost. So again, I do it for my family. I wanted to share it and share that with you as well. One thing that I've always tried to do for the last 5 years is take a little time the last 2 weeks of the year to just slow down a bit, to just reflect, to maybe read more, to do just more relaxation. This year, I've given up on that thought. I think you probably thought that I was going to say, hey, let's do more of that. I know right now, I'm a big fan of kind of like, where you're at in your life right now, the cycles of life, the seasons of life. I have a crazy work schedule. I've got an amazing and crazy family life schedule, all the things that we have going on, and then visiting friends and family for the holidays as well. So this year, instead of getting upset that I don't have more downtime and that I need a little bit more time to read and all these things, I'm just going to use the same schedule I've been teaching you on our Motivation and Mindset Mondays, is to make sure I carve out a little bit of time first thing in the morning, at lunch as able, and then end of the day, and then on the weekends a little bit of time. That's what I'm going to do. That's realistic, and I'm not going to get upset at myself if I have less time than that, because you know what? life is busy, but also I enjoy my life as well. So I enjoy all the time with my daughters and my wife. I enjoy the time with my parents and my siblings and friends and extended family. I also enjoy my work. So I'm not going to get upset about it. I usually say like, oh, I'm going to have all this downtime. It's going to be quiet. No, it's not going to happen like that. And that's okay. So again, I'll have that time a little later in life, I'm sure. But for right now, it's all about family during the holidays, as much time as possible while still maintaining my work. And I've accepted that, and I'm actually happy with that. So I'd be interested in hearing what you have planned for the holidays. Will you take some downtime? Will you, read a bit more, whatever it might be? And for me, there's no doubt about it. I'll be planning out my 2022. I'll be visualizing. I'll be dreaming. I'll be creating all my different goal setting. And so I'll be planning out my 12-week year. I've already started to do that. And hopefully you've been tuning into all the Monday Motivation Mindset Monday podcasts, which next week that we'll be talking even more about that as well. So, all right, that's the updates for this week. I always let you know what's going on over at EquiLife. So EquiLife has so much going on for 2022. So regardless of if you're a health coaching client there, if you're a customer of EquiLife for any of the protocols or nutritional supplements, to me, honestly, I also want it to be about education and where this industry is heading. So regardless, again, go with whatever functional medicine company you feel comfortable with, but again, go with a functional medicine company. So here's the thing. Just stay tuned for all the announcements coming in January. That's it. Just stay tuned. Even the last week of December, we have announcements coming. So stay tuned. Many of our ambassadors already know about it, but there's going to be some pretty amazing things happening. This week, though, we've got a fun promotional offer for you, and that is one of my family's favorite guilt-free treats, and that is the superfood chocolate bars. So these superfood chocolate bars, less than 100 calories. And here's the funny thing. So I have the box right here to show you, right? I've got the box, superfood chocolate bars. And inside of this box would typically be 9 individually wrapped superfood chocolate bars. And there are absolutely none. And I got these a week ago to be able to share with you. Well, I will let you know that my family, and anyone that we have over absolutely loves these. I actually sponsored an event completely free. I just gave the event these bars, and it was all health professionals, and they were supposed to last 2 days, and they were completely eaten and gone the first day, which is kind of funny. I was not running the event. I said, hey, I'm sure I'll ship you the bars. One of the hosts likes the bars and asked if I could do that. I said, no, not a problem at all. Completely gone. Less than 100 calories. You've got organic chocolate. You've got apple in there. You've got cherry in there. You've got raspberry in there. And literally, so you're getting all the phytonutrients from fruits, from those but they're extracts, right? So you're not getting all the sugar. And then you get your dark chocolate. So it's a really nice guilt-free treat that you can enjoy whenever you choose to. All right. So free box right now over at, just go to stephencabral.com/shop. That's my link over there to all of these special offers. stephencabral.com/shop. Free box on all qualifying orders right now over at EquiLife while supplies last. Typically it's 500 units that we set aside. So 500 of these, and when they're gone, they are gone. All right. Podcast recap from last week before we get to the Gen 3 Oura Ring review. And this, so this week on Monday, we went over, basically, this was one of my favorite shows. So please listen to this show. It is exactly how I now schedule my calendar. And again, I always say this, I don't think I have any like super skills. The one skill that I've really learned is how to read very quickly and comprehend that information. That's about it. That's like literally it. So like, don't think that I have some special skill or anything like that in terms of like health. I always say in terms of genetics, no, none of that at all. Like, I just don't. But I'll tell you this, I've learned a lot over the years, and I'm trying to pass on a lot of that to you as well. Take what works, just kind of throw out what doesn't. That's okay. But on Monday's show, I'll get you the number right now. It was 2131. Throw away your to-do list and do this instead. Check that out. That was stephencabral.com/2131. On 2132, we went over the problem with fermented foods and supplements, okay? I give you the pros and the cons. I always give you the benefits, but nobody ever talks about the negatives sometimes of all these things that we're told to do, right? So I talk about that as well because I give you the unbiased truth. Then on Wednesday, we went over the 5 most popular intermittent fasting methods. Choose one. That's it. Choose one that works for you for the new year. Make sure you do it, but plan it now. And then yesterday, we went over my new favorite workout program. Definitely check that out. I'm doing a part 2 next week, so check that out as well. All right. Let's get in now to our product review of the week. I'm going to skip the book review this week. I'm just going to do a little bit longer on the Oura Ring. Like I said, Gen 3. I got the Stealth Black. It costs a little bit more money, but I like that it's not shiny. I like that it's kind of like more nondescript. So when I wear it on my finger, and they actually recommend wearing it on your index finger. As you can see, this is not going to fit on my index finger. And they say that you get better results that way. Honestly, I've been wearing the Oura Ring since like it pretty much came out a million years ago. Not quite a million, but maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And when I saw that they had a new gen coming out, I said, hey, I'm going to get it. I thought the ring was going to be smaller, to be honest with you. It's not any smaller. It's the same exact size, which is fine. I mean, it's the same size as my wedding ring. If you can see that on my left hand, I got my wedding ring. On my right hand, I've got the Oura Ring. The reason I wear it on my ring finger, for me, honestly, is because I like balance. And so it's on the ring finger, and on the ring finger, it is what it is. You know, that's just what I do. And so the difference, though, with the Gen 3 isn't necessarily the outside exoskeleton of the ring itself, but actually in the hardware on the inside, as well as the software, some of which won't even debut until 2022. So it's good to get it now, of course, but you will be able to see all of the new features now and then in 2022. One of the things that you can actually see right now, so if you're unfamiliar with an Oura Ring, one of the best things about it is it gives you a sleep score after every single night's sleep and a readiness score. So your sleep score, I've got it all memorized, but we'll try to pop up here on the screen some of the screens that you'll actually see on an Oura Ring. And again, I'm not a paid spokesman for Oura Ring. I've got an Apple Watch on. I've got an Oura Ring. I've used Whoop Strap before. I've used the Leaf Therapeutics before. I've used a lot of different devices. To me, this is the easiest and simplest to use. I like ease. I like simplicity. Check out, and we'll link it up today at StephenCabral.com/2135. StephenCabral.com/2135. This is important because if Oura Ring, we're reaching out to them. If Oura Ring gives us a discount for you, we're going to link it up at StephenCabral.com/2135. They used to back in the day, but honestly, they're a really big company now, and sometimes you kind of forget about all the people that promoted you along the way, and I want our community to benefit from that if I can, so I'll just pass that on to you. So check out StephenCabral.com/2135 if I'm able to get any discount for you. So the sleep score, though, is going to take into account basically your breath rate, right? So we want that breath rate between like a 12 and a 16. We're looking at your body temperature. It should actually go into the negatives for the night. So lower body temperature means good, deeper sleep recovery. It's going to look at your overall resting heart rate, and it's going to look at your HRV, your heart rate variability. And it will also look at that in terms of your sleep score. So basically what we're looking at is deep sleep should be 90 minutes, which I've shared with you before. REM sleep should be 2 hours or more. Ideally, you're in bed 7 to 9 hours every single night. Of course, your heart rate variability should be appropriate for your age. And I've got a lot of interviews on heart rate variability. The best one on heart rate variability is my interview with Dr. Jay Wiles. We'll link that up today as well at StephenCabral.com/2135. And also the podcast I did on Oura Ring versus Apple Watch. Apple Watch is better at some things. Oura Ring is better at some things. The Oura Ring is way better at sleep, though. I will tell you that without a doubt. Okay, so let's go over though. And so then it gives you a score every day. And if your readiness score is in the 90s and your sleep score is in the 90s, you're good to go. You're fantastic. But what if all of a sudden your readiness score is in the 70s? Then it might tell you, listen, you better get extra sleep tonight. Maybe don't go for a personal best in your workout today. Take it a little bit easier. And it's really nice to start to monitor those things, which I think is incredible. All right, so let's go over right now. I'm going to pull up that link for you on the latest and greatest with the Gen 3. This is right off the Oura Ring website, so I can make sure that I don't miss a thing. All right, so same look, upgraded interior, new features, everything you loved still at your fingertips, and the new gen of level 3. So generation 2 used infrared LEDs, and that's how it looked at your heart rate overnight. It starts to look at heart rate variability and much more. Now, Generation 3 has green, red, and infrared LEDs. So this helps it be able to figure out your heart rate variability to a greater degree, even while moving. It's going to look at your heart rate. I believe it's every 5 minutes right now, but in the future, it will be minute to minute of what your heart rate is. The Apple Watch is still better at that, but Oura Ring is now making those strides, and it will give you much better sleep tracking. So in temperature sensors in Gen 3, there's a new temperature sensor, which is much more sensitive and highly calibrated. So it's going to give you a better temperature sensor that will also let you know if you're starting to get a little bit of a fever. So again, it's going to be able to track if your body's getting a little bit more sick. Believe it or not, all of this was being done during the pandemic as well. That's where they were getting this. Now, I'll tell you what, my Generation 2, my battery life lasts 1 day only. That's it. They like to say it lasts for 5 to 7 days. Mine lasts 1 day. I had it for years. Keep that in mind. The new Gen 3 is going to last about 5 days to potentially 7 days. Mine lasts 4 to 5 days, just to let you know. I'm pretty active, so maybe that's why it lasts a little bit less, but 4 to 5 days, that's pretty impressive. Now I can just pop it on, once a day, every other day, and it's super easy. It has much more memory, so it's enabling you to put it on airplane mode, and then when you do sync it back up, it'll be able to pull up all of that data. One of the big things that I like that's going to be coming is just the sensitivity of tracking. So I like being able to know where my heart rate was during the day, and it is actually showing that right now. And if you got a spike in stress, it's going to show that, okay, during your meetings, your heart rate goes up. Really interesting, right? You want to take a look at that. It's going to get better sleep-based sensors, and it's also going to help women better detect their own natural menstrual cycle and period-based detection. It will let you know, okay, tomorrow your period is coming, and it will be based on actually 2 to 3 months of data. So you'll have to work with your own Oura Ring on that, and it will be able to help you better predict this. So why I like it is the predictive analytics. There's no doubt about it. It's going to let you know if you're starting to get sick. It's going to let you know if you're starting to get run down. And then you can start to take those preemptive measures in order to get more rest, more sleep, more clean eating, taking it easier and being able to recover to a faster degree. And it does that all with 2 simple scores, your sleep score and your readiness score. Huge advocate of that. Anything else? Let's see. They're going to be doing a little bit more with restorative time, downtime. They're going to be doing more with meditations and kind of like bedtime sleep sounds to kind of calm your body, and all integration with Apple Health and Google Fit. So if you haven't already picked one up, I'm going to link up below at stephencabral.com/2135, the new Oura Ring Gen 3. I think it's the best biometric wearable right now. I really do. Apple Watch could overtake them in the future. There's no doubt about it. Maybe even Whoop could. I think it's in 3rd place right now. I'm open to all of them. I really am. I'm really agnostic when it comes to these, and whatever's the best, I like to share that with you. So my number 1 pick is Oura Ring Generation 3. My wife now has the Oura Ring Generation 2. I'm giving her that, and if she likes it, she wants to use it, great. I'm going to get her one as well. All right, so that is that with the Oura Ring. Happy to take any questions as well. Feel free to leave them in the comments on YouTube. If you haven't already liked and subscribed, please do that. We'd love to see our community grow on YouTube. All right. Now, next up, we're going to bring you some research of the day. The research of the day, the first one's a little disturbing. There's no doubt about it, but you need to know about it. And that is with the trend here of phthalates showing up in our food. Now, you might say, well, I knew they were in my shampoo. I knew they were in the conditioner. I knew they were in bath products and some cosmetic products, but how are they ending up in food? Well, a lot of these is the way that they're handled over time and mixed with certain microplastics. And believe it or not, this is really undeniable, and so undeniable it's on WebMD, and that is obviously hosted by conventional medicine based people. So when it's on there, it is what it is, and it shows it. Even the World Health Organization and the FDA know about it. The FDA is saying, well, it's okay with us because it's below a certain level. Listen, there's no level of plastics that should ever be in your food. I talked about that on a previous podcast on tea, and now I'm sharing with you on fast foods. Here's the thing though. This isn't something that I'm just trying to create some fear around. It's not at all. The issue are that phthalates and other so-called replacement plasticizers, plastic, manufacturers use these chemicals to help soften the plastics found in products that are routinely used when handling food. Those include gloves, conveyor belts, packaging, wrapping, and tubes. So the problem is phthalates and the plasticizer cousins don't seem to stay in their lane, easily migrating into foods with which they come into contact. The study's researchers warn that between 70 and 86% of the fast foods they tested contains some type of phthalate or phthalate, however you choose to pronounce it, or plasticizer. Why does this matter? Like it's in your French fries, it's in your burgers, it's in all of these things, right? From fast food restaurants, or restaurants is a very loose terminology, I get, but fast food locations. So here's the thing. We know that phthalates, however, again, choose to pronounce it, and plasticizers create infertility, hormonal dysregulation. They cause potential prostate and breast cancer issues, potential cancer in other places in the body, and learning disabilities in children. We know this. And we are somehow, the government is somehow still allowing this in our foods. It is downright criminal that this is allowed. And we can't stand for it. And the only power we have is to vote with our dollars. Choose places that say phthalate free or tested for this or whatever it might be, or, try to purchase from a local farmer's market and try not to purchase as much fast food. I understand that some of it is a financial monetary inequality, and fast food is cheap and it's easy. I get it. I understand. Maybe there will be more fast food restaurants that choose not to have all of these things in their food. That is my only hope. All right. Last, but I will link it up today again at stephencabral.com/2135. Last one, we're going to end on a positive note here. 12 minutes a day of strenuous exercise can be enough to boost life expectancy and lower heart disease and diabetes. After a 12-minute burst of intense physical activity, levels of the biomarker DMGV. DMGV, you might say, well, what does DMGV stand for? Dimethylguanidino. Dimethylguanidino, what does it really mean? It's a fat in the liver, right? So it was linked to that biomarker, and it showed that biomarker, when elevated, is a higher risk for diabetes and fatty liver disease. Well, 12 minutes of intense exercise dropped that number by 18%, and levels of glutamate, which is associated with heart disease, diabetes, as well as anxiety and mood-based disorders and learning disabilities in children associated with heart disease, diabetes and shorter life expectancy decreased by 29%. So DMGV dropped by 18%. Heart disease, diabetes, shorter life expectancy dropped by 29% because of the drop in glutamate. So the exercise needs to be intense and done on a regular basis, but does not need to continue for a long time. This was done out of our friends right over at Mass General Hospital in Boston and published in Circulation. 12 minutes. You don't have enough time? That excuse has now been taken away. 12 minutes on an exercise bike, high intensity, going with a little bit of a warm-up before, you're good to go. Literally 3-minute warm-up, 12 minutes of intense exercise bike, or a high-intensity interval training 12-minute circuit can get it done for you. No excuses. Let's get it done this coming new year. Let's make it happen. 12 minutes a day, honestly, can make a huge difference, even if it was 5 days a week, not every day. Take off Wednesdays and Sundays if you want, all right? All right, thanks, everyone. That's my time for today. I appreciate you. Tune in tomorrow for the start of our Cabral House Calls.